Good morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. It is 6 a.m. now. I'm Nicole Hernandez. We want to get right to Jenny Power in the Weather Center this morning. Jenny, it's been a beautiful past few days. Changes though, right?
Yeah, that's what we're seeing, Nicole. Hopefully we're able to get outside and enjoy our first 70-degry day of the year yesterday, Nicole. Can you believe it?
No, that's incredible, and I cannot wait for more.
I know. Well, changes today, so I'm just the messenger. That's what I say when it comes to these forecasts. But what we're seeing today, it is going to be a little bit of a change because of a dry cold front that's moving through. We're still going to see some widespread sunshine. The sunrise right now is beautiful as we take this live look up towards Silver Mountain, but already our trees are starting to sway a little bit. Temperatures in Spokane that we're seeing right now are in the upper 40s, 49 degrees to be specific, and we are seeing sustained winds at about 17 miles per hour. So it's noticeably breezy if you're headed out soon. We're even sitting a little bit more elevated toward Moses Lake in central Washington with 20-mile-per-hour sustained winds. Now, as we move through mid-morning and into this evening, we actually have some wind advisories that are going to be in place toward the central part of the state and southeast Washington, and a blowing dust advisory from George to Moses Lake along I-90. So just be aware that we could be seeing gusts up to 45 miles per hour. The full timing of how this cold front is going to move in my extended forecast.
Thank you, Jenny. Let's take a live look at I-90 and University now, where we're not seeing any major traffic at this point. Looking at our traffic maps, pretty much everywhere across all of I-90 and our other major highways look just like this. Clear if you're heading out the door. Well, President Trump said Iran has until 5 o'clock our time to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He says if they don't, he will attack their power plants and bridges. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
The entire country could be taken out in one night.
President Trump escalated threats of massive airstrikes if Iran doesn't seriously engage in a deal to end the war and reopen the Strait of Hormuz by tonight.
They're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah.
Monday, the president brushed off questions of whether attacks on civilian infrastructure would constitute a war crime, instead insisting it's what the people of Iran want.
They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. We've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing.
Iran has rejected a proposal from other Gulf nations calling for a temporary ceasefire, demanding a longer-term end to hostilities. On Monday, the U.S. and Israel announced more strikes on Iran, including an Israeli attack on an Iranian petrochemical plant. Iran has fired back with a wave of missiles and drones launched toward Israel and other countries in the region. Meanwhile, the president and his national security team gave new details on the weekend rescue of a missing U.S. airman who was shot down over Iran Friday.
He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces.
The Pentagon says the U.S. military used more than 150 combat aircraft, some acting as decoys in the dead of night, to fly in hundreds of special operations forces to rescue the American airmen.
Well, gas prices are still going up. This morning, the average gallon of gas in Idaho is about $4.30. Here in Washington, it's at about $1 more at $5.39. To get cheaper prices, some people in Washington are filling up on tribal lands. In some areas, it's about 30 cents cheaper. It's cheaper because Washington lets tribes keep part of the gas tax that the rest of the stations in the state have to pay.
Yeah, I come here usually once, maybe twice a week. I drive pretty far for work, so and it's the cheapest place around, so there's no reason not to come here.
The last time we had gas prices this high was back in 2022. They peaked at $5 per gallon nationwide and stayed high through the summer travel season. Well, this week, 2 districts in Spokane County will receive ballots for a special election. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live in the newsroom to break it all down. So, Brandon, this is just a partial county election, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Good morning, Nicole. This is a special election only for residents in the East Valley and 9 Miles Falls school districts. So if you don't live within those districts, you won't receive a ballot. But if you do live there, the 9 Miles Falls school district has a capital levy on the ballot for safety, health, and energy efficiency improvements. The East Valley School District will be voting bonds to replace aging schools and improve safety. District officials actually spoke with us from East Valley earlier this year and said the bond is intended to replace East Valley High School, which was built 64 years ago, and East Valley Middle School, built 57 years ago. They are going to be up against somewhat of a challenge. The last bond measure the district passed that came all the way back in 1996. So for both of these districts, ballots will be mailed out starting tomorrow, April 8th, and drop boxes open on the 9th. The official election day is Tuesday, April 28th. Spokane County Elections does have an online voter's guide and a sample ballot on their website if you need any kind of help. But for now in the newsroom, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Thank you, Brandon. The Idaho man accused of threatening law enforcement online and smashing windows at the Cooney County Sheriff's Office was in court yesterday. Court documents say Ryan McClintock posted threats on social media. He posted about a, quote, show of force against law enforcement, then smashed several windows at the county jail Saturday night. Police say McClintock admitted he wanted to, quote, incite fear and prove a point about what he called a local law enforcement cover-up.
Well, what he did was alarming, but what he said was very alarming. And the comments were directed, though, to sort of prominent people in the community, our local sheriff, local law enforcement, pastors of two well-known churches. And I think that, again, and certainly didn't manifest any means to carry out what he said, but what he said was alarming.
The damage to the sheriff's office windows was more than $1,000. A judge set McClintock's bond at $200,000. He is now facing 2 felonies, malicious injury to property and terroristic threats. Police say a Spokane man attacked his friend with a butcher knife. Now he is facing an attempted murder charge. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy has more on what the court decided yesterday.
The state has extreme victim safety and community safety concerns.
Dressed in a yellow jail jumpsuit, 24-year-old Trace Henry faced a Spokane County commissioner Monday afternoon after allegedly attacking another man believed to be his friend with a butcher knife. Court documents reveal Henry was arrested on Saturday after multiple 911 calls reported a stabbing in a Spokane apartment parking lot. Investigators say an argument escalated and a witness saw Henry slash the victim several times in the head with a large meat cleaver. The victim identified Henry before being taken to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. Police later arrested Henry near the Spokane County Courthouse while he was still carrying the knife. Henry now faces charges of attempted murder and assault in the first degree.
The allegations appear to make this quite a vicious attack.
Commissioner Tammy Chavez set Henry's bond at $500,000. His arraignment is scheduled for April 9th at 3 p.m. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Silver Mountain will be closed today. The mountain says they will not be able to open because of the strong winds we'll have throughout the day. Their plan is to reopen tomorrow.
And that is what we are going to be watching for, as we do have some wind advisories in place for central Washington as well as the southeast corner of Washington because of a dry cold front moving through. Our gusts could be as high as 45 miles per hour, and we even now have the concern of blowing dust out toward the Moses Lake area from George to Moses Lake along the I-90 corridor. So visibility through that stretch is expected to be between a quarter of a mile up to a mile. You want to definitely consider that if you've got travel plans today. Otherwise, we are seeing some widespread sunshine and temperatures that are cooler than yesterday, but still actually a little bit above our average. Upper 50s to low 60s is what we're seeing for Spokane and through parts of the North Idaho Panhandle. As we move forward, we're going to continue to see dry conditions through the end of the week. I'll look at that extended forecast, though, in just a few minutes.
We'll take a look at these crazy photos from Oregon. Crews had to rescue a 15-year-old boy who fell 50 feet while hiking. Fire crews say the teen was alone and slipped down an embankment. Luckily, he was able to call 911 for help. When crews got there, the boy was hidden deep in the trees, and they didn't manage to find him until pinging his cell phone location.
He did a lot to help with the success of his rescue. He was fortunate that he didn't get knocked unconscious and that he had his cell phone with him.
The teen has quite a few injuries, but is conscious and stable. Huge congrats this morning to the Michigan Wolverines for winning the national championship. They took down UConn last night 69-63, and this was the school's second national championship win.